Well. People are demanding answers what's going on out there in California. And Mayor Bass had the opportunity today to answer that question and she failed. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark, and I'm the host of It's Culture Podcast. I know everybody has been watching what's been going on out in Los Angeles with these wildfires. There's been a lot of backlash, a lot of finger pointing going on. Who's responsible? Who's to blame for all this? And we're going to talk about all that tonight because I think it's important. Because the politics that you vote for is the politics that you get. And then we're going to kind of talk about, what happened today at the press conference. Because that was kind of crazy. A couple questions got asked and answers were not given. And why do politicians do us like this? So we're going to talk about all that today. So if you're looking for something else today, I'm sorry, I just want to talk about this one. So let's get into it. But first, like, share, subscribe. We're over 7,500 subscribers now, so thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. The channel's growing. We're slowly, surely growing. We're over 7,500, so I appreciate it. So let's keep running that number up. Let's try to get to 8,000 here. Let's try to get to 8,000 before the end of the month. Let's keep getting these goals, these lofty goals. I want to grow this channel, so let's keep doing it. So the wildfires out in Los Angeles have completely ravaged and destroyed people's livelihoods, their lives, family heirlooms, history, lineage, you name it. Anytime there's a natural disaster and you have to rebuild, people think it's easier just to rebuild. Some things are just, you can't rebuild family heritage and history and lineage. You can't rebuild that. You add on to that, but you can't take back history. You can't rebuild a history. And every time I see a natural disaster, whether it's a tornado, hurricane, flood, fire, I somebody who served in the military, it really gets to me, because my heart goes out to everybody who's been affected by what's going on out in Los Angeles, because that's horrific. I've never had the experience losing everything. I've had times where I've lost some things, but not to the point where I totally lost everything. So I can only imagine the strife that is causing. And with that strife, you have people who want a finger point. How could we have stopped these wildfires? Wildfires in California happen so often, it's just like a regular occurrence out there. And you would think that because this is a reoccurring thing, that maybe, just maybe, the government in California would actually take steps to ensure that this doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, that they can mitigate it really, really quickly. California been on fire for years. There's always wildfires out there. It's because it's dry as a desert. It don't rain. And when it does rain, it doesn't rain for a lot. So by the time the fire season starts and everything is dry, it's brittle, it's all kindling. The whole area is just kindling, and a cigarette can destroy an entire neighborhood by being flicked on the street. And these wildfires, some of them were started by people. We had arsonists out there. Why you would try to destroy somebody's livelihood, I have no idea. But we have arsonists out there. They've caught They've arrested a woman and arrested a man who set two of the fires. And then you have the ones that start out in the natural wildlife. Like I said, people forget they were out there camping or something, left something, struck a match here, it caught fire, they got out of control, they ran something, right? Or somebody was smoking a cigarette or something, inflicted, thought it was ashed out, it didn't, it caught fire, ignited, and then boom. Like I said, this dry brush that they have out there is like kindling. So it just sparks and just goes everywhere. And you would think, because of these conditions that I just discussed, that the government would be doing something, right? No, there's a finger pointing going on, typical with our politicians, because they're not going to take accountability for anything that they're in charge of. All they're going to do is kick the can and blame somebody else. And in this case, you got Gavin Newsom and you got the mayor of Los Angeles, the two people who are directly responsible for what's going on in their cities, in the state. Karen Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles. This is going on in Los Angeles. And Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. And it's going on in your state. Rather than take accountability for anything, they just ultimately decide that, hey, you know what? It's so much easier just to not answer questions or to point to Washington, D.C. or, get into it with Elon Musk or Donald Trump, the online, because it's so much easier to do all that than to actually do your freaking job and do the job that the people of California and the citizens of Los Angeles voted for you to do. It's so much easier just to point the finger and kick the can down the road and play politics, because hey, this is the American way, right? People's had their whole lives destroyed at the hands of fires. And I saw people online that were chiming in on the celebrities who lost everything. Listen, I don't care if they're wealthy or not, or they're poor or not. Not everybody that lives in Los Angeles, and just because you see them on TV or are millionaires with all this wealth. Most of these people realistically are broke. It is a facade. That's why you had the SAG writers going on strike, because they weren't getting paid crap, okay? There's not a lot of wealthy people in Los Angeles, okay? You have a lot of people who have money. You have the uber wealthy, but you have a lot of pretenders out there too. And the cost of living is crazy. But a lot of these celebrities that you see on TV who lost everything, they don't have money like that. They're not millionaires like that. A lot of them haven't worked in years, so they living off the money they still got and hoping that this stuff is in syndication. That's about all they're doing. That's about it. So they knew about these wind tunnels and funnels and all this stuff, right? They were told that they were known about them. That it was it could be possible some wildfires, the winds and all this stuff was gonna cause some stuff. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, decided that she was gonna go to Ghana for the Ghanaian president's inauguration. Now, if you know anything about Karen Bass, you know that she is heavily invested. Even when she was a congresswoman, she is heavily invested in whatever is going on in Ghana. I don't know if they got investments in Ghana. I don't know if they are trying to make deals with the Ghanaian government. I don't know what's going on. But for some reason, most of the people who were in the Congressional Black Caucus, they got some affinity for Ghana. So they all were over there for the Ghanaian president's inauguration. City's on fire. She comes back to the city on fire. And the first time she gets in front of the camera, she gets asked a bunch of questions. And she gets asked, do you think you owe the citizens of Los Angeles an apology for cutting the fire budget? because the fire budget got cut by $17 million. Now, however amount of money, I heard 17 million. Some people say 80 million, whatever. The fire budget got cut. Okay. Now, why it was cut, don't know. But I'm not going to put it so much on the budget itself because I will say this. As someone who was in the military, there's a lot of wasteful spending being done by our government when it comes to governmental programs. There's a lot of wasteful spending. So hopefully when this audit comes out of the fire department, these cuts were not made to equipment and infrastructure stuff. This stuff was probably cuts for other things. But the fact of the matter is, there's no water in the hydrants in Los Angeles. Now, how in the hell did this happen? I have no idea, considering the fact that Los Angeles is quite possibly on the bay. There's literally a natural water officer right outside. You got water everywhere. You got the whole damn Pacific Ocean. Somehow or another, that Los Angeles does not have a reservoir where they can extract water, salt water from the thing, make it potable so they can use it for fire hydrants. Now, I don't know how this is not possible. The United States Navy has been doing it on every single naval vessel. We take salt water and turn it into potable water every day on ships. So I don't understand how they can't turn the Pacific Ocean water into potable water without using salinity cells and changing it. I don't know how they can't do that, and the United States Navy can do it. So they said something about the smelt fish. Now that's what the thing that the president, the incoming president-elect Donald Trump said. Oh, it's because of they took the fish, the smelt fish, and this. Now, there is some things about this smelt fish, and I know Gavin Newsom is the governor, and he wanted to preserve this wildlife. Now, but you got to also think, at some point, something has to give. I understand that we want to keep wildlife and all this, but if that is at the behest, because this fish, people don't eat it, it don't serve a purpose. It stinks. So if it don't serve a purpose, whether it's for us to be able to eat it or whatever, then why are you so concerned about this fish? If not, just move them into a reservoir somewhere, and so that way you can bring the rainwater down. Because they say there's a lot of water that comes in from Washington, Oregon, that can wash down into these things, but they are restricting the water from being flowed down because of these damn fish. I don't know. I don't know anything about. That's what the president-elect is saying. So Gavin Newsom came out and said that that's not true. You know, it's not all the way true. I mean, some of it's factual, but not all of it. But what does that actually mean, though? I mean, what does that actually mean? You got water that you can actually utilize, but you're not utilizing it because you want to do something else. Knowing the condition of your state and knowing that wildfires are very, very prevalent and they can spark at any given time. This Pacific Palisades fire has destroyed 20,000 acres. This is the most expensive fire ever. And oh, by the way, insurance companies are tied up in bureaucracy, so they stop covering fire insurance in California because of some law that the governor decided to endorse. See how politics, it don't matter to you until something happens, and now you find out the people that you elected, the people that you like, because this person looks good or whatever, and they got this letter behind their name and all this yada, yada, yada. All that. You do all that. But when it's time for accountability and something happens, now your faves got egg on their face. Now, I'm going to let y'all listen to this video. This is taken from a press conference they had today. Now you're gonna hear two people. You're gonna hear the fire chief. You're gonna hear somebody from I think the fire chief, and then you're gonna hear the mayor. Now I want you to hear the questions. Now this is from Sky News. They're in Australia. For some reason, they have taken a liking to what's going on in U.S. politics. They talk about U.S. politics a lot in their country. I guess they have so much going on. They don't have enough going on in their own country that they're so focused on what's going on in the United States. So, Sky News, they are going to ask these questions. And then I want you to hear what she says, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Oh, you've got to hold on to great. Sorry. Hello, Jane Secker, Sky News. A couple of questions. One to Fire Chief Moroney. More bad winds on the way. We know the conditions, as we've just heard, are going to be the same as last week. How confident are you that you're better prepared this time?
Okay, so you see what she just asked? She just asked him, the fire chief, how are you prepared knowing that these winds are about to pick back up again and y'all haven't contained some of these fires and all it takes is these embers and all this stuff to go up in the air and just drop down in a whole nother area and then here comes another fire. So how are you prepared for this? So that's the first question. Here comes the second one.
And also a question for Mayor Bass, if I might. Our correspondent David Blevins asked you last week if you owe the people of Los Angeles an apology for cutting the fire budget. You didn't respond to him then. Would you like to respond to us now?
You're not getting away from this question, Mayor Bass. You're going to have to answer it. Are you going to apologize? Do you think you need to apologize to the city, the citizens of Los Angeles for cutting the fire budget? Do you think you owe the citizens an apology? Yes or no? Let's see what she says. But first, let's listen to the fire chief.
So for the fire question, thank you. We're absolutely better prepared for this coming PDS, the severe fire weather event. You've heard the statistics, number of personnel assigned to the incidents, over 5,000 firefighters assigned to the Palisades fire, over 3,000 firefighters assigned to the Eaton fire. The state, under the leadership of Governor Newsom, has set up a mobilization center in Banning where we have resources staged that can come into LA County to assist with a new fire start or the expansion of one of our existing fires. We also have numerous aircraft, local government aircraft, helicopters, we have water bombers, we have retardant fixed-wing aircraft from the state and federal government, we have military aircraft. So we've not only augmented the ground resources, but also the air resources. I think that we're very well prepared for the next event, but that's never going to be, we're never sure that we're going to be able to catch the next fire and keep it small. They said 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be very difficult to contain that fire. That's why we ask all residents in a brush-prone area to be prepared to evacuate if you get the evacuation order and start those preparations before the evacuation warning comes. Thank you.
All right, so he very, very thorough. And I like the fact that he got up there and said, yes, we are prepared. Now, if things pop off, y'all gonna have to evacuate. Please evacuate ahead of time. Do us a favor so we can do our job. I appreciate him saying that. And then he broke down how logistically what they have in place right now to combat this. Now, he's talking about the Palisades fire. That fire still is not under control. Only 11% of it is contained. It is tearing up like Los Angeles. I saw earlier that people said it had started to reach Brentwood. That's where all the celebrities are starting to live. So pretty much they're going to be destroying all their homes. So it's coming. It's coming down. And the more those winds come, the more fires can start. So I like the fact that he actually gave a good logistical roadmap to kind of ease the citizens. That's all you want to do in this time. You want to ease the citizens, their worries. Hey, we got a lot of stuff, but we're going to need help from y'all too. All right? That's a lot of firefighters. Now, not all of them are are, you know, some of these are inmates that are part of the California Correctional Facility, you know, so they're using a lot of them too to fight these fires. So, but, you know, good on them for having resources. There have been a lot of states sending their firefighters there too. Texas sent some. I think the country of Mexico sent some. So, you know, everybody's trying to come together to help this. So, because this ain't good for nobody. This is bad for the economy. This is bad for everybody. So, but here's Karen Bass.
There was a two-part question to that, correct?
My focus is on us being prepared as a city for tomorrow. As you began, we could face another very difficult situation for thousands of Angelenos. When we are past this period, there will be an evaluation of everything that went on. And at that point in time, we will see there is not agreement as to whether or not the budget was cut. All of those issues will be resolved when we are clear that Angelenos are safe and we are ready to rebuild our city. Thank you.
She didn't ask you nothing about that. And like, she didn't ask you that. She asked you one particular question. Do you owe the city apology? Could have been yes, no. You go on talking about what we got to do is build the city back up. Build the city back up. Angelenos don't want to hear that, Mayor Bass. They want to know why the fire budget got cut. Why the hell there ain't no water in the fire hydrants? Who was responsible for this? When the hell did you actually find out about it? And why were you still in Ghana knowing that your city was on fire? That's what the people want to know. What vested interest do you have in the Ghanaian government that you left a city and came back and it's on fire? And you seem not to have an answer. But you want to be the mayor of one of the second largest city in America, and you're looking like you have no idea as to how to run a damn government. Wonder what you were doing when you were a congresswoman. Because right now you're looking bad. You seem not to know what you're doing. But you wanted to be the mayor of Los Angeles. And you went out there and campaigned and did all that stuff and did all this, you know, getting this person behind you and that person. You did all that tap dancing to get the position, and now you're looking grossly and utterly incompetent. And it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you black, and the damn sure ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you a woman. Because Gavin Newsom looking just as incompetent. And I'm tired of you all wanting to use race every single time, race and gender every single time you get found that you don't know what the hell you doing. These are citizens. They need to know exactly what's going on with their damn government. Y'all need to be at that next city hall meeting. Whatever they're meeting, y'all need to be raising holy hell out there in Los Angeles until y'all get some answers. And if y'all don't get the answers that y'all want, y'all need to find another government. But y'all got to stop giving y'all vote away. Y'all got to make these people earn it. And make them stand on what they say they're going to do. Because this is just bad. This is bad. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Because and if you're in Los Angeles, tap in. Let me know what y'all think about Mayor Bass. I want to know what y'all think about how she's handling this. Is she incompetent? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.